right. 3, 2, 1. What is up, y'all? It is episode 15 of the Sci-Fly Zone, and today's destination is going to be the Major League Baseball game, as the remainder of the All-Star rosters have been announced for the American League and National League, that being the reserves and the pitchers. And also some more guys have joined the Home Run Derby as well, so we will be talking about those individuals, and we will also be going over Manny Machado as well, as he just reached 2,000 career hits. So we're going to kind of go over his career a little bit and just kind of highlight everything that he's done up to this point, because that is a great accomplishment by him, and he's really evolved as a player over time, and we just want to highlight that. So yeah, CJ, All-Star game, rosters, what's going on?
Yeah, let's get into it, man. It's an exciting time. Always love when it's All-Star week. We're officially less than a week away from the All-Star game. Rosters have been announced. There's a lot of great names on the rosters, and there's a couple bad snubs too. So we have plenty to talk about. We're definitely going to get into it for sure. Let's start in the American League. How about we go with the pitchers first?
Right.
So there have been 12 pitchers in the American League selected, 13 in the National League, but we'll get to that. It's going to be Hunter Brown, Chris Bubich, Aroldis Chapman, Garrett Crochet, Jacob deGrom, Max Fried, Josh Hader, Yusei Kikuchi, Andres Munoz, Tarek Skubal, Shane Smith, and Brian Wu. So a lot of great names there. I'm sure he was saying Wu. I'm sure he was very excited when he got selected. So yeah, there's a lot of great names here. The rotation is definitely packed. There's some of the best names in baseball are pitching in the All-Star game this year. Hunter Brown in particular.
A lot of good pitchers this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it a little bit before on a previous episode, but pitching has really exceeded development compared to hitters, I feel like, in recent years.
Yeah.
And Hunter Brown in particular has been probably having the best season of any pitcher this year. I mean, he's got to be top 3 for sure. He has the lowest ERA in baseball with a 1.82 ERA. He's been a massive reason. Yeah, he really hasn't had bad starts at all. He's been, the best pitcher for the Astros in a while, probably since Justin Verlander won the Cy Young. He's definitely a favorite for Cy Young this year. I feel like
it's going to be hard to go against Tarek Skubal, though.
Yeah, it's going to be one or the other. I assume it's going to be a really fun race to pay attention to. So, yeah, obviously both of those guys are all stars this year. Tarek Skubal, defending his Cy Young. I wouldn't be surprised if Skubal was the starter in this game. So, yeah, I think it's probably going to be Skubal starting. But shout out to deGrom. I do want to highlight him because he's probably been the comeback player of the year. He has been incredible this year for the Rangers, and it was kind of looking scary for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. He had some pitching injuries, pretty consistently. He missed a lot of time.
Yeah, but who's not at this point? Let's be real.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's so many. It's almost par for the course if you're going to be pitching as long as deGrom has, that you're going to have a couple injuries at this point, especially considering how hard he was throwing early in his career. And his velo has dropped a little bit, but his performance has not dropped at all because he's been excellent for the Rangers.
Yeah, and also, with age, that's just something that pitchers who want to have a long career have to adapt to over time, really making your off-speed stuff kind of become your primary stuff. That's why Kershaw has been, successful for so long, because early in his career, he did have a mid to high 90s fastball, but obviously over his career and with injuries, similar to deGrom, it's dropped a little bit, so he's had to rely more on his other off-speed stuff, and Kershaw has always had good off-speed stuff. Obviously he's famous for his curveball. He's had a super nasty slider, and I believe he has a changeup too here and there, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah.
At least on MLB The Show he does. But also on MLB The Show, Mariano Rivera has a sinker. So
yeah, he has 5 pitches.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely with age, pitchers are definitely gonna have to rely more on their off-speed stuff, but DeGrom is continuing to do that. I mean, this year is a 2.29 ERA. I mean, only 0.2 under Tarek Skubal, who a lot of people are saying is the best pitcher in the American League right now, and only 23 walks this year in 106 innings pitched. So he is doing his job.
Wow. Yeah, and 106 innings pitched too. I feel like there was, with his previous injuries, there was maybe some questions about is it going to be on like a pitch count? Is it going to be going like 3 or 4 innings? But he's been pitching deep into games. He's gone 6, 7 innings in his games, and he's had great appearances. So yeah, he's super deserving of the All-Star appearance. There's a couple Rangers pitchers who have been pitching great this year, but I'm very happy for Jacob deGrom, and I'm glad that he got the All-Star point.
Yeah, and only 10. Yeah, and you were saying about innings. He only has 10 less innings than Tarek Skubal this year. So, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah. He's back to being that workhorse.
Yeah, 100%. Are there any American League pitchers that you think got snubbed?
Absolutely, 100%. Well, let me tell you what.
Okay, besides Framber Valdez.
Right. So yeah, shout out to Framber Valdez. He's been, I mean, one of the most consistent pitchers for the Astros in recent years. I feel like you always know what you're going to get from him, and it's a great season every year. But Joe Ryan has been having an incredible season this year, and I don't think anyone's really been talking about him. I know we haven't really mentioned him much on the show, but he has a 2.76.
Perks of being a twin, like I've mentioned before.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's super small market, and plus the Twins aren't doing great this year. They're 14 games out of the lead, and they are 5 games out from the wild card. So
yeah,
not a lot of great things happening in Minnesota right now. Sorry to Trevor Plouffe. I know he's a former Twin, big Twins fan, but Joe Ryan has been one of the bright spots for them because he has a 2.76 ERA right now, and he has a 0.89 WHIP, which is the third best WHIP in baseball right now, behind only Tarek Skubal and Zach Wheeler, which are, you could argue, 2 of the best pitchers in baseball. I mean, Tarek Skubal, like, no doubt, and Zach Wheeler's been one of the best pitchers for the last like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. Also, Joe Ryan has accumulated more WAR this year than Max Fried. He has more strikeouts than Max Fried as well.
And Max Fried's been having a great season.
Yeah,
he's been great for the Yankees, but Joe Ryan has been. I mean, he's been. There's only 2 guys who have been better than him at preventing base runners this year, and as a starting pitcher, that's exactly what you need. And Joe Ryan, I think, totally deserves an all-star start.
Yeah, 100%. Any hitters that you want to get into?
Yeah, there's some hitters for sure.
Let's go over the reserve roster first.
Yeah,
and then we can get into the hitters who we think got snubbed a little bit.
Yeah, let's do it. So catcher spot, Alejandro Kirk. Shout out to him. He's been having a great year. We gave him his flowers, and when we announced the starters, I mean, Cal Raleigh has been having one of the best seasons as a catcher ever. Nice Mariners hat, by the way. So yeah, Alejandro Kirk deserving of the backup, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, he was the other finalist in the voting.
Yeah,
so it only makes sense for him to be the backup catcher.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, although never mind.
Okay. There were 6 infielders elected for the All-Star game for reserves. It's Jonathan Aranda, my guy. I was super happy about that.
Yes,
shout out to him.
Yeah, he made it.
Yep. Thank God. So Jazz Chisholm Jr., Brandon Lowe, Jeremy Pena, Bobby Witt Jr., and Alex Bregman, which, I mean, Bregman has been having a great season. Well, he was having a great season when he was playing, but he hasn't played in about a month and a half, which I thought was interesting that he would be getting
Pena also hurt right now as well.
Oh yeah. Pena did recently go out. Yeah, I think he's been out for a week or 2 maybe. So yeah, I mean, 2 injured guys getting the reserve spots. So when there are several other players who could be getting the reserve spots, you know, who are playing great. So yeah, I was kind of interested about that. But I mean, for the most part, I feel like everybody else has been doing great. You know, Brandon Lowe, we talked about. He was another finalist for second baseman, I believe. He's been great for the Rays. So totally makes sense to me that he would be a backup too. Yeah. But there are definitely some guys who probably could have made the team instead. talking about like those injured guys maybe could have given up a spot to somebody else. George Springer has been having a great year.
Dude, yeah, especially during that series versus the Yankees.
Yeah, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh my
we he
god.
yeah he has been having a great year. 16 homers, 15 doubles. He's slugging 503 with an 872 on OPS.
Hmm.
um I mean, I mentioned they only elected three outfielders. I didn't mention who they are. It's Byron Buxton, Stephen Kwan, and Julio Rodriguez. um yeah, yeah, Buxton's been having a great year. I'm happy for him.
Yeah,
Stephen
yes,
Kwan.
I'm only shaking my head at Julio Rodriguez right now.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Julio has been struggling a lot offensively, and he's kind of regarded as, like, people know him as, he usually gets off to a slow start, and in the second half he's better. This year he has been getting off to a slow start. He's hitting about 247. He's got 11 homers. Um, he's not really playing up to the level that we know he can, you know. So I think George Springer could have gotten the spot there.
Hmm.
Um,
Joe
Willie,
Adell could have taken the
yeah,
spot.
yeah, totally. I was
Definitely.
looking at him too. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
for
he
sure.
has 8 more home runs than him. He is 9 more RBIs. He has a better on base, better slugging, which
Yeah,
obviously means he has a better OPS. I just feel like the Angels could have had a bit better representation than Yusei Kikuchi. That's just me.
I think so too. Yeah. I think he's been having a good year, but there are definitely some guys who on the Angels this year who deserve all-star reserve spots. You know, Joe Adell being one of those guys you mentioned.
Hmm.
Taylor Ward has been playing solid too, even though he's slowed down lately. But yeah, he has been playing very great this year. Zach Neto, despite missing the first couple weeks, has been super valuable for the Angels. He's been great. I hope he's an Angel for a very long time.
Me
Um,
too, man. And he's really evolved too. I think Neto's going to be an all-star in the next few years.
I think so too. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. Yeah, he's been great. I mean, he almost had a 30-30 season last year, I think.
Wow.
Or yeah, I think he did have a 2020.
Yeah, he definitely did.
Yeah, I believe it was 23 homers, 29 steals. I think that's what it was.
Hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, he's super valuable and he's going to be great and he will be an all-star in the future for sure.
100%. 100%. So, with that being said, now that we have established the American League roster, let's get into the National League. So, I'll start us off here with the pitchers. So, we got Matthew Boyd, Mackenzie Gore, Clayton Kershaw, a legend pick. CJ, do you want to explain what the legend pick is?
Yeah, it's basically like we've seen it a couple times in the last few years. I think Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera are a couple guys who also got Legends picks. It's
Hmm.
basically a player who is either in their last season or towards their last season, who is generally regarded as one of the best players of their generation, you know, or a great player overall.
Hmm.
Um, and it's sort of a way to show respect to them and show appreciation to them for what they've done throughout their career, despite maybe not the exact season being worthy of an all-star. I think
Yeah.
Cabrera was an all-star when he was hitting maybe like 230 or 240. Um, but yeah, so it's basically MLB is rewarding Clayton Kershaw for, I mean, being one of the best pitchers of his generation and of all time. We talked recently about his 3,000 strikeout, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm honestly kind of happy with it. I mean, I understand why they gave him the Legends pick. He has had an incredible career.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I'm glad that he could be an all-star again.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, I just realized my computer isn't charging.
Oh, you're good. Also, one more thing I thought was worth noting. I counted the pitchers on each team. The National League does have 13 pitchers, and the American League has 12. We alluded to that earlier. I think it's worth noting that Clayton Kershaw isn't like taking a roster spot from somebody else who's deserving of it, you know? It's sort of just like they filled out their roster with the 12 guys who they wanted, and then they added Clayton Kershaw in there.
Yeah.
It is kind of, it does sort of rub me the wrong way seeing the National League have one extra pitcher when we talked a minute ago about Joe Ryan probably deserving an all-star spot. Framber Valdez, Carlos Esteves, like there's a lot of guys who missed out in the American League. So
Like they could
um,
have gotten an extra spot just like Kershaw got an extra spot.
Yeah, totally. And I get it, it's like it is a different type of thing. So
Mhm.
which I understand, but you know,
Yeah,
they also deserved all-star starts.
definitely.
I keep saying all-star starts. Um, I mean all-star spots. It's the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the remaining pitchers we have here are Freddie Peralta, Robbie Ray, Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, Logan Webb, Zach Wheeler, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Jason Adam, Edwin Diaz, and Randy Rodriguez.
Yeah. There's a lot of great names there.
A lot of great
Three
names.
Giants pitchers. Um, pretty cool. I mean, there probably could have been more to be honest.
Yeah, I
Um,
was gonna say, like, even though there are three Giants pitchers, this is actually a rare case where they all do indeed deserve all-star picks.
yeah,
For
absolutely. We've
sure.
talked about how valuable Logan Webb and Robbie Ray have been for the Giants. Probably one of the best like 1-2 combinations in all of baseball.
Hmm.
Seeing them pitch in the playoffs would be awesome. I hope they both get appearances in the game. Maybe they can go back-to-back innings. Maybe Logan Webb goes the third inning and Robbie Ray goes the fourth. That could be kind of cool.
Hmm.
Um, Also, I do want to shout out Matthew Boyd because he's been having a great season for the Cubs,
Yeah.
and it's kind of gone unnoticed, despite the Cubs being in first place and being in first place for a while. I feel like there's not a lot of people talking about Matthew Boyd or not expecting him to be doing this good.
Hmm.
Um, he is sort of the third most popular left-handed starting pitcher on the Cubs, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what's up
Yeah.
with Chicago and left-handed starting pitchers. Um, but yeah, he's been having a great year. He's got a 2.5 ERA.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he totally deserves an all-star spot too.
Who else would you say are the other more popular Cubs pitchers?
I would say Justin Steele's a little more popular, even though he has been hurt. I think he is more well known as a pitcher, just as a Cubs pitcher, especially considering his year last year.
Hmm.
And Shota Imanaga is the other guy I would say. He's
Yeah.
personally one of my favorite pitchers. The start that he was off to last year, like his first half last year, was incredible.
Hmm.
He had like a ERA in the ones for like 3 or 4 months, I think. It was honestly insane. Um, and he's yeah, two of them have been great, but Matthew Boyd especially has been. He's this year he's been their best pitcher.
Yeah, definitely. So some pitching snubs. Do you have any pitching snubs here?
Yes, absolutely. I mentioned him in an episode a couple weeks ago for having a great start to a complete game shutout. Andrew Abbott has been incredible this year
Oh yeah.
for the Reds. He's been their best pitcher. You know, in the last 6 games, he has had two sort of questionable starts. He gave up 5 runs in 6 innings one game, and in his last game, he gave up 4 runs in only 3 1/3 innings. So his ERA took a real hit there, really ballooned his ERA. Now his ERA is all the way up to a 2.15 because he's been
He
having one of the
sucks.
best seasons. He's been having one of the best seasons for out of any starting pitcher, and nobody cares about it. And I think it's insane because I mentioned that he's not like as flashy as like Hunter Green or Tarek Skubal. He doesn't like throw as hard. He doesn't have the strikeout numbers,
Yeah.
but he is one of the best at run prevention. And he's been a massive piece for the Reds this year. Huge part of their success. They're in a wild card race right now,
Hmm.
and if they're gonna make it, it's because he's gonna be one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Yeah, and I agree. He definitely got snubbed here. Kind of weird.
Yeah, they're
But I mean, there are so many good pitchers to like
yeah,
throw in here. I mean, like arguably all these guys deserve a spot. I would say the only pitcher that I think could have gotten swapped, I think Ranger Suarez could have gotten over Chris Sale.
okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ranger Suarez has been great as well this year.
Yeah, I mean, he has a 3.3 WAR. I mean, that's almost a full WAR more than Chris Sale this year. He's got an ERA almost zero point 0.5 less than Chris Sale as well.
Jeez.
Yeah, he also has 7 less walks than Chris Sale as well. I mean, he's doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he is. Yeah. We talked about how he is like one of the lesser known Phillies pitchers
Hmm.
of recent years, obviously being in the same rotation as Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. But yeah, he absolutely deserves his flowers for being as good as he has been for the Phillies for the last couple years. And on the Chris Sale note, since he is injured, I have heard that like some rumors about like he's gonna be like replaced. Maybe someone's gonna take his spot.
That'd be
So
good.
yeah, I think either of those guys, Andrew Abbott or Ranger Suarez, could be that guy.
Yeah, 100%. And also, he's done all this in pitching 3 less games than Sale, I want to add.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
3 less games in Sale. Was he hurt at all?
yeah, he was hurt in May,
Okay.
which I think also factors into why he didn't receive as many votes as well.
Could be.
So yeah, those are some pitching snubs for the National League. Now let's get into the remaining hitters. We have Hunter Goodman. Let's go. He deserves it. I'm happy about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
We got Pete Alonso. Let's go. Ellie De La Cruz. Let's go. Last video, I was really mad that they weren't starters, so I know that's why I'm hyping them up right now. Now we got Brendan Donovan, Matt Olson, Eugenio Suarez, Corbin Carroll, Kyle Stowers. That one was interesting to me.
Yeah.
But he deserves it. Really interesting. Fernando Tatis, James Wood, let's go.
Yep.
And Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
So overall, pretty good. Pretty good. Some weird stuff going on though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm gonna lead us off here. Where is Juan Soto? Where'd he go?
I have no idea, man. I don't know why he's not on this roster.
Yeah, so I'm going to put a stat comparison of him versus Corbin Carroll, and then Kyle Stowers, and then Fernando Tatis Jr., as they all made the All-Star team, and he didn't. So just take a look here at what we got going on so far. So that wasn't good. This one isn't good either. And then the next one's going to be pretty bad too.
Yeah, man. I mean, when I do think Corbin Carroll deserves to be an All-Star. I do think Kyle Stowers is having a season good enough to be an All-Star, especially considering he's the Marlins representative, you know. I understand that. Same with Tatis, but when you compare Juan Soto's stats to their stats, like side by side, it's like there's no reason that he shouldn't be on this team, you know?
Yeah. And also when there's 30 teams who all have 25-man rosters, that's a lot of dudes. There's always going to be snubs. You know, not everyone is going to make the team. But when there are people who deserve to make the team and don't, that's when it's frustrating. And Juan Soto, respectively, he deserves to make it. I mean, the only person who is comparably up to him out of the 3 players that I mentioned is Fernando Tatis. And Juan Soto still clears him in almost every single stat except for hits and stolen bases. And basically it's pretty close on hits, and Tatis only has 9 more bags. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, it's not good. Soto's got 21 homers this year. He has the 4th most runs scored in baseball. He's got the most walks in baseball, which feels like he does that every year. He's been walked 72 times this year. This is a stat according to Greg Harvey at Sports Researcher. There have been 7 players in baseball history to record 20 homers, 70 walks, 15 doubles, and 10 stolen bases before the All-Star break. 7 players ever. Juan Soto is the only one not to make the All-Star team. There's no reason that he should not be on this team, dude. He is one of the best hitters in baseball. He is a 160 OPS plus. Juan Soto, like, I get that he was off to a slow start, and I get that he's getting paid $700-800 million. There's no way that Juan Soto can play good enough to warrant him being worth $800 million. That's just not like really how it works.
Yeah, it's hard to root for a guy that will forever be better in life than you sometimes for some people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some people, it's hard to root for a guy that's going to be so successful no matter how actually successful he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to get paid no matter what, and he already has the contract. It's done. And some people, that just makes them upset, so they don't vote for him and they don't root for him. And I agreed. He had a slow start to the year, but there's a thing called the refresh button. You can see how he's doing as the season goes on, and then you can compare the stats to how other people are doing at the same time. Believe it or not. And Right now, that man deserves to be on the roster. I'm not saying he needed to be a starter. We said that last
Yeah,
episode. He didn't need to be a starter.
sure.
But what the hell?
What the hell? It's bad. What the hell, man? What the hell? Yeah, it's really bad. In baseball, you have to have a really short-term memory, and I know that people were like really getting on Juan Soto for his slow start. Looking at his stats right now and looking at where his stats are gonna be at the end of the season, I don't think Juan Soto is really concerned about how he performs in the first 6 weeks of a season, because
Yeah.
he at the end of the day, he is still one of the best hitters in baseball. He has a 396 on base percentage despite hitting 263 right now, which is a low batting average for him. But he is still, getting walked the most. So he still has one of the best eyes in baseball. He's one of the most disciplined hitters, and he's one of the most feared hitters still, because pitchers know that when they throw a mistake pitch, he's going to hit another home run.
Yeah, and also only Kyle Stowers out of the Sir guys has a better batting average than him, and it's only by 0.016. So take that into account.
Bad miss. Yeah.
Another guy that I think should have made it here in terms of the National League hitters, Cubs first baseman Michael Busch, son of George Bush. Just kidding. I'm going to put some stat comparisons here because I love doing stat comparisons. We got Matt Olson here, of course. You can see Matt Olson has about the same WAR, but Michael Busch definitely leads in home runs, stolen bases, batting average, on base, slugging, OPS. And then I'm gonna compare him to also Brendan Donovan here. And what the heck? When you compare these two, I understand that Brendan Donovan is not a first baseman and Michael Busch is a first baseman, but on the roster they are put on as infielders. So what's the point? That actually brings up a good point. Why are they labeled as infielders if we are voting based on position?
Yeah, I really don't know why they do it like that. Catcher is the only like specific position. But yeah, it's just like general infielders, general outfielders. Not totally sure why they do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Michael Busch has been great for the Cubs this year. He's been having an incredible offensive season. He's hitting 297 with 18 homers with a 950 OPS. It's one of the best in baseball. And first base is a loaded position.
Of course, yeah.
He wasn't like a finalist. Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman are two of the best first basemen in all of baseball. But like you said, when it comes to the bench and reserve guys, it's just based on infield. There's no position specific. I don't think anyone would have really batted an eye if Michael Busch and Pete Alonso were both backups for Freddie Freeman in this game. Maybe it's a little bit of a there's a lot of Cubs that are like finalists.
Yeah, a lot of Cubs.
Seiya Suzuki is another guy who could have who's a snub who should have been on the roster. So I don't know if people are just tired of the Cubs right now. Obviously there's two outfielders starting our Cubs, PCA and Kyle Tucker. So yeah, maybe it could be something like that. But yeah, Michael Busch is definitely deserving of an all-star start. A spot. I did it again.
You could argue he could get a spot, but
I'm pretty sure he's been more valuable than Freddie Freeman this year, honestly. Michael Busch has put up a 3.5 WAR so far. Yeah, Freddie Freeman's put up a 2.1. So
yeah, Michael Busch could have gone over Freddie by a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Man,
I think
Dodger fans, Freeman, you guys are strong.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, huh?
But yeah, we are gonna move on to the home run derby because that's awesome. I love the home run derby. It is one of my favorite events. Every year I love watching it. I never miss it. But what's crazy is no Pete Alonso this year.
Yeah. I think I believe he said that he wasn't going to be participating in it this year. Not totally sure why. Kind of unfortunate. I always love when Pete Alonso's in the home run derby.
Me too.
Anytime he's in it, he's like the guy that not only do I root for, but he's also the guy that I think is going to win.
Mhm.
He's like the favorite every year that he's in it. And he already has 2 wins, right? I don't think he's gotten his third yet. But
Yeah, he's at
2
2.
home run derby, yeah, 2 home run derby wins. So yeah, I mean, it's happened in the past. Like Mike Trout's never done a home run derby. Aaron Judge has said he wasn't going to do it a couple times. Pete Alonso is I feel like he takes his job very seriously. You know, whenever he's like, I feel like he has fun when he is in the home run derby, but you can't really tell by his face a lot of the time
And he's
until
so
like it's all
locked in,
over.
bro.
He is so locked in. He's very stoic.
Mhm.
He's not really like a guy to show emotion until like it's all done, you know. So yeah, unfortunate that he's not going to be in it, but there are a couple of guys that have been announced that I'm very excited to see in it.
100%. So when me and CJ were predicting who we thought would be the remaining guys who would join the home run derby, so far none of my predictions have been correct, but CJ over here can apparently see into the future, and he has gotten 2 guys correct in James Wood. If anyone would, James Wood.
Yep. James Wood.
Because we knew James Wood and Byron Buxton, which I'm really hyped to see these guys in the derby for sure. Like, they have some real power. And also Buxton, I mean, he needs to just be advertised more because he is such an entertaining player to watch. And, you know, obviously the injuries have held him back for some years, but it's really awesome to see Buxton really getting a chance to shine this year in the derby.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I was super excited about both of these announcements, that both of these guys are going to be in it. James Wood is going to be super fun to watch.
100%.
He's going to be hitting some tanks for sure, and I'm happy for Byron Buxton too because has been having a great season, and we've talked about the injury bug that he's had for it seems like most of his career. He hasn't had very many like full seasons, but I mean, whenever he is healthy, he's an extremely good player. He's like one of the best outfielders in the game. We talked about like he's a 5-tool player.
Yeah.
He's got like the speed and power. He's almost at 2020 already, homers and stolen bases. And yeah, he's been healthy all year. He's been another piece of the Minnesota Twins team that has been one of their definite bright spots this year. So yeah, I'm happy for him, and I hope he does get a lot more advertisement and promotion for this for sure.
Yeah, me definitely. So that makes it 4 official players, but we do have a new official player joining, announced as of today. None other than Pirates shortstop / center fielder, although for those who have seen him in center field, probably shouldn't be in center field. But O'Neal Cruz, and I am very, 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 very excited to see this guy in the home run derby. And I'm going to give you some context as to why. So O'Neal Cruz has the 3rd highest hard hit percentage in all of baseball at 57.5%, meaning 55.7% of the time the ball is coming off of his bat at 95 miles per hour or faster. And also, fun fact, O'Neal Cruz, with him joining the home run derby, he is actually making baseball history. You want to know why, CJ?
I do, yeah.
O'Neal Cruz is going to become the first player to join the home run derby while leading the National League in steals.
Wow, that is a really cool stat.
Yeah, crazy achievement
really
for a
cool
guy who's only in his 3rd full season.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he is still super young. He's super young, but he's one of the most exciting players in baseball. Like when you have that combination of like speed and power that he does, you're gonna be getting a lot of attention. And yeah, he's one of the fastest players in the National League, but he also hits the ball harder than almost anybody. I'm pretty sure earlier this year he broke the record for the hardest ball hit in Major League history since the Statcast era. So
that ball would get a ticket.
Yeah, man, he is gonna be lighting up the baseball in the home run derby. They might have to give everybody in right field catcher's gear just to make sure everybody's safe from the.
I was gonna say, dude,
homers.
those kids like they might as well just stand in center field.
I didn't even think about the kids in the field too. Oh,
Dude, they're gonna get ripped apart,
oh
bro.
man. Oh no.
But yeah, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, if he were to participate in the Derby, which, you know, I do hope he does end up joining, as me and CJ also both predicted that he would join the Derby, and there still are 3 slots available, so he can definitely join. But what's up, guys? Really quick, update from literally today while I'm editing this. Junior Caminero from the Rays is joining the Home Run Derby. So that actually makes it 2 slots. So I just wanted to fill that in there because I want this to be as up to date as possible. So yeah, Junior Caminero is officially in the Home Run Derby and only 2 slots are left now. So yeah, back to the video, y'all. If he were to participate, he would have been very close to this achievement as well, the joining while stealing the league in steals, because he's just 1 steal under Cruz and he has 8 more home runs than him this year.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, PCA has been having an incredible year.
Yeah.
There's a very good reason why he's starting in the All-Star game. I feel like every time he's been doing so good, with hitting this year, and like the power numbers that he's putting up are like some of the best in baseball, that sometimes I forget that he's also like the fastest player in the National League, basically.
Yeah, he's only
so
1
weird
steal under O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, dude. There's something about like recently we've been seeing more of these guys like PCA, O'Neal Cruz, Ellie De La Cruz, who can just like are the fastest players in baseball and also hit the ball like the farthest in baseball.
Yeah, for once, speed and power are starting to join forces.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty crazy. So, like we mentioned before, we have 3 remaining slots. So, CJ, your list of people that you gave last video when we were talking about the Derby, the remaining players who could still join on your list are PCA, Eugenio Suarez, Ellie De La Cruz, and Joe Adell.
Okay. Yeah,
so probably not Joe Adell since he didn't make the team.
Well, I don't know if you have to be on the team to be in the.
I don't think you do, but I think it's very rare to
true
not be an all-star and be on the Derby. I think it's only happened a few times, if ever. PCA, Eugenio, and Ellie are all all-stars, so it seems more likely that they'd be able to. Which I also have a fun stat about Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz has the 2nd highest ground ball percentage in Major League Baseball, but he has 18 home runs this year as well.
Wow, that is very that is shocking to me.
Yeah,
he should maybe start hitting the ball in the air a little bit more.
Yeah, dude, he has a 53.9 ground ball percentage and he has 18 home runs. Like, make it make sense.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So yeah, I could see PCA, Eugenio, or Ellie all joining, definitely. On my list, I had PCA, Aaron Judge, Ohtani, Schwarber, Taylor Ward, and Riley Green.
Ooh, yeah. There's definitely a few guys there who could definitely join. Schwarber, I think, is a pretty likely guy who could join. He's been in it before. It's been a couple years, but I mean, he's always like one of the like homer leaders every season. So he would be a lot of fun. He would be a lot of fun to see in the Derby. And Aaron Judge obviously would be like
I want to see Riley Green in there too, man.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about him, how good he's been doing offensively. The power numbers are great, but he's been doing it in Detroit, which is not a hitter-friendly ballpark at all. Atlanta's a lot more hitter-friendly. So, seeing him in a maybe a smaller field, a field where the ball flies farther, is that could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. So when those guys are announced, we will tell you guys about it. We'll tell you how we feel about it, and you can't stop us. So, with our last topic here today, we have Manny Machado, and who's also an all-star this year, I want to add. Manny Machado becomes the 300th player in Major League Baseball history and the 5th active player currently to reach the career milestone of 2,000 hits.
Here he is, leading off the home half of the 4th inning. Left side, off the glove of Perdomo. Hit number 2,000 of his career for Manny Machado as he continues to build on his resume towards the Hall.
You know, I remember when he made his debut for Baltimore back in the day. He was a doubles machine there.
Yeah.
His production, like, it really hasn't slowed down after he's left either, which is awesome.
Yeah, man, he's had a great career all around for sure. He's been one of the best third basemen as soon as he got into the league. He led the league. He led the American League in doubles with 51 in his second season when he was 20 years old. So, yeah, in terms of double machine, yeah, he's been doing it for 13, 14 years at this point. He's at a 14-year career, you know, and he just turned 33. On Sunday. Happy birthday, Manny Machado. His birthday is July 6th. But the way that the MLB decides what age season you're in is whatever age you are on July 1st. So Manny, don't know why they do it like that. But so Manny Machado was 32 on July 1st. So he's technically in his age 32 season. And he is the 12th player in Major League history to record 350 homers and 2,000 hits in or before their age 32 season, and everybody else on that list is a like inner circle Hall of Famer. Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr.,
Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, Mickey Mantle, Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera are on that list. They're going to be first ballot Hall of Famers, and Alex Rodriguez. So everybody that Machado shares that group with is a Hall of Famer, will be a Hall of Famer, or named Alex Rodriguez. So he's easily been one of the best players of his generation, and he's the Padres team leader in home runs.
Yeah, which is also crazy. And he's also a 7-time All-Star. He's got 2 Gold Gloves, a Platinum Glove, 2-time Silver Slugger. He's placed top 5 in MVP votes 4 times. And also, since 2015, he's played in at least 140 games in every single season, not counting COVID. Yeah,
bro. He's been super consistent, everyday starter for the Padres. And the Orioles. He's been one of the most valuable Padres probably of all time, honestly.
He leads their franchise in home runs.
So yeah. And he's only been there.
He already has it.
Yeah, 100%. And he's already been there for like 6 or 7 years, I think.
What does that say about the Padres?
A lot of great stuff. They're historically not very good. I think they're one of the only teams without a World Series still, right?
They are 0-2 in the World Series.
Only been there 2 times? Wow, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
That's a little surprising.
So yeah.
Honestly, I was very surprised to hear that that Manny Machado's only a 7-time All-Star. That doesn't feel like enough times. I feel like he should be like a 9 or 10-time All-Star at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
He's accumulated 60.4 career WAR in 14 seasons so far. Some of the other players who have retired with the WAR of 60 or lower: Ichiro Suzuki, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., Harmon Killebrew, Yogi Berra, and Mike Piazza. If Manny Machado retired today, if he never played another baseball game, he would be as valuable or more valuable than all of those players.
And what's crazy is I think there are a good chunk of people who would completely disregard Machado as a Hall of Famer today. Yeah,
I feel like it's not as cut and dry as maybe I think it is, honestly. I feel like he absolutely should be a Hall of Famer, first ballot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when you contextualize it that way, it makes a lot more sense, but like, just like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people don't really consider Machado to be like one of the best guys in the league when he really is.
Yeah, he has been, and he hasn't really gotten a lot of that like public eye or promotion that some of the other guys have. Baltimore's not like a huge market. San Diego is bigger for sure, but I feel like even then a lot of people are kind of talking about Tatis a little bit more. Machado
or Darvish.
Yeah, Darvish.
Even though Darvish honestly has not performed too well in San Diego, I would say Machado, if you were to compare the performance since joining San Diego, has netted much better results than Darvish has.
Yeah, 100%. I absolutely agree. Yeah, dude, he's he's one of the best third basemen in all of baseball today, and he has been for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to finish his career with San Diego?
That's a good question. Do you know what his contract is?
I don't know, but I know that he signed a fat extension, either an extension or a new contract, like within the last 3 or 4 years. And it was a big one.
So he's going to be a Padre through the year 2033.
That's a long time.
That is a long time. So he's got 8 more years as a Padre.
So he'll be 40, 41.
Yeah, he's going to turn 41 in his last season. So,
do you think he gets traded before that point?
I could maybe see something like maybe later in his career, maybe like when he's in his late 30s, and he's not like producing as much as he is right now. I think I could maybe see him getting traded to like a team that's trying to compete for the playoffs, and maybe hoping for him to be like
their DH or something.
He is now. Yeah. So I think he's going to be a Padre for the rest of his career, honestly. I think he will be in San Diego.
I would say the odds of him not being a Padre are like 20%. Like I would say it's 80-20, him being a Padre, him not being a Padre.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's fair. I think those are good numbers for sure.
Yeah, for a while, I didn't like how dirty of a player he was.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was doing a lot of unnecessary behavior, like, kicking people, throwing stuff.
Yeah. He was kind of like,
he was doing all sorts of things.
Yeah, he would clip first baseman's legs, like when he was running over the base. He wasn't running like very hard, a lot of the time. But I do feel like he has matured a little bit more. I think he seems like a different player. But for a while it was like he wasn't getting a lot of public attention because he's in a small market, and when he was getting a lot of attention, it was because of negative things.
Yeah, it was bad, but bad publicity for sure wasn't good publicity.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, it seemed like he was gonna kind of turn into Carlos Gomez a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Remember Carlos Gomez?
Yeah, man, dude, I think
he was a menace.
I think he was in like a home run derby the other day with Milwaukee. I saw some article about him like doing some like team thing, or like
just like hanging out with them like after or before a game type thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So
he seems like a good guy to be on his good side.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like he'd be like a fun teammate if you guys get along. But if he's on the opposite team, he'd be like really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. But yeah, I would say that wraps up our episode. CJ, you got anything else you want to add in here before we do our outro?
Yeah, I think that was great. I think we knocked it out of the park.
Nice. Here we go. So yeah, next episode, we are going to be talking about the rumored Young Avengers show, which is basically going to be made much more possible now with the ending of Ironheart, and the rumored character that was now officially confirmed to be at the end of that show being, spoilers, Mephisto.
Mephisto, baby.
Yep. So now that Mephisto's in the show, he could be the potential villain for this new Young Avengers show, or it could be a movie. It's not entirely decided, either a show or a movie. But yeah, we're going to be talking about potential storylines, characters, villains, and heroes who could be in the show. Maybe some middle of the ground, morally gray characters as well. It's going to be great. And also, we will have our next video after that be more MLB updates. Probably going to be going over who else is going to be in the Home Run Derby, because more people are probably going to officially be announced for that as well. So we will go over that, and any other major events or games that happen during that span as well. So please stay tuned for that. And if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, leave it down in the comments, as we will gladly talk about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. This has been the Sci-Fly Zone. I'm Trenton, CJ, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.